Welcome here to TalkFCB and welcome back to full reaction on yesterday's special Clasico night. And it was one of those that we've been waiting for now for such a long time, hoping for, desperate for, and Barça delivered on the big occasion when it really mattered, a final there against Real. That was the time to do it. That was the time to stand tall. And we've got to celebrate that. And that is why coming up today, we're going to be taking a much closer look into what this means, into what this trophy can signify for these players and for Xavi. And we are going to be closely analysing the system itself, the tactical masterclass from Xavi that made all of this possible last night. There was magical football. It was a magical moment. So come on, and let's do this. Because if we do indeed begin with the man himself, Xavi Hernandez, who secured last night his first trophy as the Barcelona coach. And I think that is a massive moment for him in his own right there as a coach. No matter how many titles you won as a player, how successful he was at this club, every coach still needs their first trophy. Every coach there still needs that one moment where they feel as though, okay, I've arrived now. And this feels as though for Xavi, this is that moment. And it wasn't only about the result, about winning the trophy, about the way there that we got over the line, but the performance. That for me, and that for Xavi as well, that was the key. Because we all knew it was there. We all knew that it was inside of these Barcelona players. A performance like that, it was waiting to happen. And that was almost where the frustration was coming from over these past few weeks, when we could see there the signs, the potential, everything leading to a moment like this. But it was about snatching it. It was about reaching out, grabbing it, owning it. And Xavi delivered that last night. And I do think back to 1 year ago now, after that narrow defeat in the Super Cup to Real Madrid. Remember Laporta in the dressing room on that day when Barça just fell short? He picked them up. He said, look, I'm proud of you. We might have lost this game. And people laughed at Joan Laporta. They said, why are you proud of a team that are losing? Why are you believing in these group of players? And Xavi as well. But he always gave that support. And I think that's really important now that Laporta can see the progress, can see that support, it was warranted. We are delivering now. And I think it's not only lift off for Xavi, not only lift off for these players after the Super Cup, but it's liftoff for this entire project, the reassurance that we needed. Now, we kick on. Because I think before we even start to talk about the tactical genius that we saw, in my opinion, last night, guys, one thing that we have to address very quickly is a simple element. And that element last night was that this Barcelona team, they wanted it more. It is as simple as that. When you look at the game, you look at the way that it played out from minute 1 to minute 90, there was one team that wanted it more, that was so desperate for this trophy. And that's what we want to see. And that's what we have seen. I think over these past few months now, looking at this season so far, looking at the results that we've got in the league, we are seeing a hungry group of players. And that is so important here. To win a trophy now without Lionel Messi, it's the first time in over 20 years that has happened. It's a massive feat that honestly was never ever going to be an easy one to start a new era. And I think for all of these young players now, they've not just been part of a success here. They've just not been part of a team who's won a trophy, but actually, they've been the beating heart of it. They've been the driving force behind winning this title. And now they know it is a new era. The new era is underway. And we're not just talking about potential. We're not just talking about the future anymore. From this day and this day forward, the future has become the present. And I think after the game, Xavi summarised the emotions and the importance of this trophy very well indeed. He actually said this squad has received quite a lot of unfair criticism, and today many players have set themselves free. He said they will work now more calmly. I've been here for so many years. I know how much the players suffer when things don't go well, but today can be the start of a new positive dynamic. And I think those quotes there from Xavi are absolutely on the money, because I think actually psychologically we already started to see that freedom. We already started to see that confidence that this result was going to bring. And look there at the 75th minute in this game. I'm sure you've all saw the video there. It's really going round a lot on social media right now. The passage of play there from Barça. We're leading 3-0 against their biggest rivals. What a moment that was there. To see us basically toying with Real Madrid there, pinging the ball around from one to another, pass and move, lightning fast reactions, and Real Madrid, they couldn't do anything. They were like rabbits in the headlights there, looking around thinking, how are we going to get that ball back? We've seen that before. We have seen moments like this in Clásicos from the best Barcelona teams. And that's what we strive towards now. We take all of this confidence, we take this belief and almost try to instill a sense of superiority again. We have to get that back. And this is the very first step. We move. There was words as well after the game from Ronald Araujo. He said, actually, I was in tears. I've had a really hard time there with injuries. Of course, what happened as well at the World Cup. But he said, right now, I am so happy. He said, this is the start of a new era. And that's why this title is so beautiful. And you feel as though every player is feeling the same way right now. And what a performance it was by Araujo. What an impact he has in this team. And to see him again yesterday, just shutting down Vinicius Jr. Now, we're talking here, and I will give credit, he is a wonderful player, Vinicius. He is one of Real Madrid's most dangerous players, and to just be able to constantly now, in Clásicos, say to Araujo, go on, out to the right-hand side you go, stop him. And he does. This is a repeat action that we're seeing. He's got his number. He knows what he's about. And Araujo, just tremendous, absolutely tremendous impact in the whole of this team. And then there's Gavi. What can you say about this young man? 18 years old. And a lot has been said about him. You think about when he won the Golden Boy Award, you think about when he was getting these individual honours, a lot of people talking about him saying, is he overrated? Is he overhyped? Is he as good as we're being led to believe? Are Barcelona fans going over the top? Well, how about this? No, we're not. You look at the way that he played yesterday, the maturity in his performance in a game like that. He was incredible. His decision-making in the final third, the way that he took his chance and scored the goal, the way that he set up Pedri for the third. It is absolutely beautiful and unbelievable as Barcelona fans to see these two combining in a Clasico. It just doesn't get better than that. Pedri as well was absolutely superb on the night against Real Madrid. But here's the thing right now, guys, because I don't actually want to talk too much about individual players, because I don't really feel as though we can actually highlight individuals after last night's performance, because every single Barcelona player, they were outstanding. You could not pick out a poor performance. You could not pick out a player who wasn't performing at their level. And that's what tells you when everybody there is looking good, feeling good, looking like they know what they have to do. That comes from the coach. That is what tells you that it was a perfect plan, a perfect system. And that is what we discuss next. Because when you are looking at these two teams head to head, and what we saw last night in terms of the system from Barca, now we've spoken a lot about the midfield there. Let's start first of all with Robert Lewandowski leading our line, because I think he did a fantastic job there of actually doing it on his own. Because at the start we thought that Dembele was going to be directly alongside him, that it was going to be two attackers there up against Real. But of course Dembele spent his whole game out on the right hand side, targeting Mendy and stretching the pitch. So it really was up to Lewandowski to operate in this area here, up against Rudiger, up against Militao, and he handled it absolutely wonderfully. But what I also loved was these combinations here. Pedri nice and close to Robert Lewandowski. Now, we simply wouldn't get to see that if Pedri was in your traditional three in midfield. If this here was a natural left winger, if we only had three players in here, we wouldn't see him getting into advanced positions, linking up with not only Lewandowski, but also Dembele on the right-hand side too. So already, Pedri's feeling better. Then, you add in Gavi, who is not a left winger. He's not somebody who's going to stay all the way out here, but actually making inverted runs that allowed Alejandro Balde, the game that he had last night, the freedom that he had constantly to attack space, and he will do that all day long. So Gavi here coming inside, forming what can be a three, can certainly be their three effective forwards, but Gavi is a very different kind of player, because what we also saw for one of the very few times I feel in a Barcelona shirt was Gavi and Pedri playing together and playing very well. Because I think at Barca so far, we have struggled to get the best out of them both at the same time. Again, if it's in your traditional just three in midfield, the two of them together, it's tough to actually find that balance. It's tough to actually give them both the freedom they need to show what they can do. But we did see that last night. We saw Pedri here. We saw Gavi getting into brilliant positions in and around the area. And he's so good. So good in the final third. But to have all four of these players here, to have Lewandowski, to have Dembele, Pedri and Gavi all looking forward, making forward runs, going forward, you do need protection. And that is why these two are so important. Now, I thought last night, guys, Sergio Busquets played very well. And I would also argue, certainly, that this system is not only beneficial to Gavi, to Pedri, but it's also beneficial to Sergio Busquets. Because if you can surround him with players, you do protect him more. His biggest liability is in this position here, when he's going to press, when he's going to close down. If that ball here bypasses Busquets, then you're in trouble. We have always been in that situation whereby if the reflexes and the speed of thinking isn't there anymore and he gets caught out, there's a lot of space left behind. But you've got Frenkie de Jong there now. You have somebody else alongside him there. He has a partner who, if needed, can help him out a bit. And he does need that at times. But he was very good in yesterday's performance. And de Jong is the complete midfielder there. Both defensively and supporting the attackers. He does everything. But there is one important element to this team. There is one glaring area that if that wasn't right, if that wasn't as good as it is right now, this all falls down. I have to talk about defence. And I've wanted to talk about the defence this entire video. And that says it all, that we had so much good attacking play, that we scored incredible goals. But I'm still so happy with this back line. I love everything about it, and it doesn't matter which order you even play it in. It wasn't Araujo at centre-back. He was out here at right-back. He's able to go out there and do that, and we were still able to build up out of the back. I actually saw yesterday Araujo applaud a pass from Koundé. He was genuinely that happy with the ball that he applauded it from Koundé. It was incredible, and I just love the partnerships there. I've got to talk about Christensen, the ability that he has here. When he's in defence on the ball, and we're playing it around Real Madrid are putting a bit of pressure on, the ability he has to just step out, and he is so comfortable there. At times yesterday, again, he looked like a midfielder. He is brilliant on the ball, and what a signing Andreas Christensen has been. But it's even more than that too, because with these three players here, who are all very good defenders, it can become a three. And what I mean by that is, when Balde really went forward yesterday, and he did here, occupying at times, he was like a left winger. Because Gavi then would go inside, actually support Robert Lewandowski. Pedri here as well, really packing those areas in between the lines. And when that happened, Christensen stepped out here. You had Koundé there occupying centrally, and Araujo was ready to clear up any danger here. So they can very much become a three. And just look at the way that system looks there. Balde going forward in the way that he did. And I would say Dembele, it's very impressive for him to do what he does. Because actually at times when he's on the ball and when you're out here as a right winger, you often need an overlap. You often need there's something. Either somebody going inside of you, like Gavi has over here, or you need somebody going outside of you. But he is that good. He doesn't actually seem to need that. He knows that he can come inside himself. He also knows he's got the pace and the ability to go on the outside of Mendy. He can do it all, so we don't actually need the overlap. And that is why we are blessed right now with the defence that we have that can turn into a three. Koundé could easily come out here. He can be very comfortable out there. We're so flexible. But that gives us so many options in midfield to have the players that we do, to have the attack the way that it looked yesterday, and the defence along with Ter Stegen. Don't forget him when he's called upon. He's been phenomenal. I just love the way this looks. To have everyone back at last, everybody fighting fit. This is the team that Xavi wanted. This was the squad that he was desperate for, and now you can see why. And I really just feel right now, guys, looking at the way that performance went, the significance of this trophy and everything we discussed today in the video, I just feel as though It's all coming together. We've waited a long time. We've always been here, thinking about the next move, about the next era, all of these kind of things, and just waiting for it all to fall into place. Now, I'm not saying that everything's perfect and that Barca now are just going to go on and win everything forever. Football really goes that way. But this is a great step. This is a significant moment. And I think we should celebrate it, and we should be really happy and proud of this team, because this is what football is about. These kind of moments against your rivals, to get one over on Real Madrid in a final, that is big, that is important. And that last night, the football on display, that is Barca. And I want to know your thoughts. I want to know what you're feeling right now. And I want to know where you see this team now for the rest of the season. In the big games that we've got to come, we've got the league, we've got the big games now against Man United as well. There's lots still to come, and lots this team will still need to do. But this is a great step. This is a massive step in the direction that we knew that we were heading in. Now we've had it confirmed, and we can feel great about that. I will see you soon, guys, where there will be lots more coming up. Lots more excitement, I'm sure. It's a pleasure to bring it to you. It's a pleasure to be part of it with you right here. So I will see you then. For all of that, thanks for your support. For every single one of you, for tuning in. We did it. And we go forward from here. But until next time, as always, Visca! El Barça!